All right. So we're gonna be talking about the Lawyer Show. Now before we start, I wanna address a couple things. Haircut, yes. Shave, kinda. New place? Definitely. Hey everyone, it's Jacques Berman Webster II. Did you like? That's cool. But if you subscribed for this once in a lifetime limited offer, get a little dance. Today's where I finally devote 3 months of binge watching a show to something, anything productive. Yep, today we're talking about Grey's Anatomy for lawyers. Suits, not to wear, but to watch. And I want to explain to you why it quickly became one of my favorite shows, because I didn't watch much else, so I can't really talk about anything else, which sucks. But it's a really good show. Here's why. I realized with the Night at the Museum video, which I just wrapped up editing, so check that one out if you haven't seen it.
Where do they fit in the society? Where does Wax Teddy Roosevelt fit in society?
But I just realized I kind of just listed things, and I want to avoid that for the most part. So let's lay it all out and find out why you should check out this show. I watched it on Peacock, 48-minute episodes with ads through 9 seasons. Must be pretty good for all that to happen. Peacock ads are the worst because they're just advertising other things on Peacock. So this is what I like to call a YouTube Shorts show, which, for those of you that don't understand, it's your Sigma Alpha Omega grind set, passive income, gaslight kind of show. You know, the kind of thing with the music behind it? You know what kind of music I'm talking about.
Gee, Squidward, maybe Santa will bring me a dictionary so I can understand what you just said.
So I stumbled upon the show and I saw all these clips to the point where I could put together like the whole plot. And I was like, if I'm gonna spend this much time watching a show in short form, then I may as well watch the whole thing start to finish. I had my doubts because a lot of people told me it's just Grey's Anatomy for lawyers. Now I've never seen Grey's Anatomy, but I've never been a big fan of the concept of just doctors crying about things for 9 seasons. But when it's lawyers, you know what I mean? I mean, after all, it was on USA Network. Yeah! USA! As I mentioned, it's on Peacock, and I don't expect you to have Peacock. That's why I put my account details in the bottom. You can watch it if you want, I don't care. I don't even use Peacock anymore. Peacock's for losers. Yeah, 9 seasons of 48 minutes an episode with ads. I sacrificed a lot to watch this show. I was living with my girlfriend at the time, and it was a lot like this. So like, are we gonna eat dinner or what? Can't learn the hustle. You know, a lot like that. That was a one-for-one perfect reenactment of the skit. The show follows a Harvey Specter and a Mike Ross. They're the Batman and Robin, the Jordan and Pippin, the soy sauce and pizza. Don't knock it until you try it. These two rampage through the New York City corporate law, which apparently is the place to be for this kind of stuff. They also have Michael Phelps and Charles Barkley.
In Houston. I bet you couldn't do that to them big-ass women in San Antonio. Oh. We're not even in San Antonio. Oh, no, you could do that to them little skinny Houston women. You can't do that to them big old women in San Antonio.
But it's got it all, you know. It's got bagels, it's got mud jobs. That's a lot of yelling.
Shut the hell!
It also has one of my favorite TV characters ever, but I'll get to that in a second. There are also just a lot of just like hilarious slams, you know what I mean? Some real like knee busters. Is that the right? Gut buster? It's got some lung busting laughs and it's got some hilarious romps and some really funny situations. For example, threatening murder.
I'll put a goddamn bounty on your head. I'll pay him whatever it takes to break your legs. And if that doesn't work, I'll wait till you get out and I'll kill you myself.
Oh yeah, Meghan Markle's in this show. That's how a lot of people know about the show. It's kind of been brought up because Meghan Markle's in it. And no matter where you stand on it, she does a pretty epic job in this one. But yeah, I can't really speak to much else because I haven't taken the time to really deep dive into that whole situation. All I know is Meghan Markle is a very cool actor, and England is also cool. It's coming home. I spent some time in England and I don't regret it. Some cool things happened. For example, someone stopped me and said, "Do you have weed?" Which I said no, because it's illegal. And he said, "You look like you do, why are you lying to me?" It was just like, man, I'm just trying to get a full willy, or whatever the hell breakfast is called over there. I forgot. yeah, I didn't say this. This video will probably spoil the show in a little bit. I'm gonna try and cover up as much as I can and use ambiguous terms. But if you leave this saying, I know what's gonna happen, that's on me, but I don't care. You know, if you have a problem, the door is right there. The new door, the white door. Because I'm bringing this one home. It's coming home. Now that all the lightweights are out of here, let's do a speed round of some of the cool characters. A. Elliot Stemple, the butt monkey character that's a foil to Harvey. He's not a good lawyer, but everyone says he is. You have Donna. Matthew McConaughey loves those redheads, and boy howdy, she is epic. But I can't talk about her too much because I don't want this to be too long. But she's one of my favorite characters. She's cool, she's smart, she makes dumb decisions sometimes. But other than that, she's a very cool character with a nice payoff at the end, I might say. No spoilers here. You have Jessica Pearson, the cold-hearted businesswoman who has a no-nonsense attitude until nonsense happens and then she lets it. Little inconsistent, but cool. Oh, also, when I wrote this script right here, the one I'm reading off of, not in the camera, I can't do that, I wish. I need a teleprompter, but right now I don't even have a lamp or ceiling lights. Teleprompter will come soon. Until then, one thing I want to say, when I was writing the script for this, I looked up businesswoman to edit, and Google changed it from businesswoman to businessman in autocorrect. Almost like a comedian has a joke about that, but the opposite foot.
An essay about women's equality. Women faced a lot of hardships in this era of time. There was a red line under faced. Naturally, I thought that I misspelled a 5-letter word. I'm an idiot. No. I checked, and instead of faced, it was corrected to face. As in, women face hardships every single fucking day.
Funny story with that joke, actually. When I said I was writing an article on women's equality, someone said, yeah, right, in the crowd. And that was technically my first heckle, but I didn't hear them. So, moral of the story, it's not hate if you don't pay attention to it. Yeah, so depending on who you ask, you got a huge misogynist here. But I followed a feminist for a little bit. On Instagram until I couldn't, but you know, I did. I followed it. I was with it. I'm still with it, but less. No, I'm not. Not less. I'm with it. I'm just not trying to like turn on my phone and just see like just use tampon just on my feed. You know what I mean? It's just Christ, man. And look, in 9 seasons, there's obviously way more characters. Like there's corrupt man that works in the SEC, corrupt judge, corrupt businessman, corrupt businessman, corrupt businessman, corrupt businessman, Harold. And Harold's the best one by far. Harold goes to war over a cat that's not his or someone he knows. Love Harold. He makes the best appearances in this show. But he's not my favorite, but he's very good. There's one character in this show that is one of my favorites that doesn't even exist. That's how crazy this show is. There's a character that I'm not making this up, does not exist, has not been shown on the show once, and then she dies. There's a secretary, her name is Norma. Oh yeah, spoiler, she dies. So there's a secretary, her name is Norma, and she is never shown. All the people only talk about her as if she's some legend, and then she dies. And people are like, ah, damn, miss her. It's crazy.
That she left me high and dry, just like she always did.
You expect her to keep working?
Look at this. It's her entire estate laid out on paper. She could have managed my calendar, but this crap fest she plans within an inch of her life.
And like, it's stuff like this where it really sets itself apart from a normal show. There's just the little like directive choices, I guess, that make it so different from other shows I've watched. I just appreciate the shifts in traditional film structure and writing structure, I guess. Film, TV, doesn't matter. Point is, it's very interesting how they develop each and every character, even the ones that aren't even on the show. It's insane. She was literally a joke, and then they killed the joke, literally. She was a battle axe! But I think, okay, I've put you guys off long enough. I think it's time to talk about my actual favorite character. Rick the IT guy. No, that's not him. But he's super funny, and he has that cool McMuffin joke I hopefully just edited in. He's funny, he's kind of creepy sometimes, but he's cool. CS major. I need to justify this. Computer science people are annoying. I said it, and it's out there. If you don't agree with me, fuck you. You have Mike Ross, who's basically just Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, and young Sheldon. Such a fun word to say. Sheldon. Oh, also, wow. Kyrie Irving requests trade.
Any Semite?
I was just gonna read off a sponsor. We don't have one. All right, this one I don't want to spoil. This is actually a very big point of the show. So seriously, just skip ahead. I'll put some time frame or whatever. Skip ahead to the end. Seriously, like this is, like I don't want to fuck this up for you, to be honest. Mike goes to jail and it's epic. He almost gets killed twice. It's pretty cool. Then the guy who threatened to kill him gets killed. I'm just going to talk about Mike for a second. Mike is this really fun and plucky presence in the office. He's the main character. He drives the plot. He smokes weed. And then he gets written out. So it reminds me of when another Michael got written out of the show. And the show gets considerably worse. That blows. Blows. I've got a great joke about that too.
Here's the joke. I recently read an article about how Americans, those damn Americans are addicted to air conditioning. That really blows, doesn't it?
Alright, I think this is where I'm going to put the spoiler stop thing. Basically, Mike Ross is super cool, he's super fun, moves the plot. He clearly doesn't belong in the world of corporate law, and he does his very best to try and change the status quo in his own unique ways, and it's very admirable. He's also cool as shit. He has a photographic memory, which makes him basically like a superhero. It's really cool. He also gets high with Harvey in an episode, and that's one of the best episodes. It's crazy. Speaking of Harvey, aka the Sigma, he's the real driving force of the show. Without his fuck-ups, this show would have ended in like season 4. But he keeps it going, and he does a good job of it. Everyone loves Harvey, besides the women that Harvey's left behind. Harvey's always getting into trouble and bagging chicks. You know, he has sex. Anyone have a joke about having sex?
Sex. What a concept, right? Like,
I guess that wasn't really a joke, but it's one of my favorites. Harvey does the sex a lot. He's also one hell of a negotiator. They call him the closer, which gets old by season 2, but who am I to judge? Other than the whole closer thing, the show's actually very tight with its writing and its jokes. And it's little stuff like that where you really can't be bothered by it just because you don't particularly care for them calling someone one forced nickname for like multiple seasons. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. I mean, dear God, for a 9-season show, they keep the storylines pretty fresh. You kind of get just the formula after a while, which is kind of a bummer. You know, it's like, oh, we're going to win this case easy. And then some big bad lawyer guy comes in and he's like, no, you're not. You're screwed. I've got you. Give me your company. I want my name on the door, or something like that. And they're like, oh no, we're screwed. And then they do some digging and then they find the evidence they need. And then they win in court most of the time. And when they don't, it is whatever, because they figure out another way. And that's like the main thing with this show. I'll expand on it later. But the main thing with this show is, if it instills any value in you, unless you're a New York City lawyer, in which case hopefully it does a couple things. Probably not. It's probably so different from actual law. Anyway, one thing that's important with this show is to understand that the whole message, I think, is that it's never over. Like, it's kind of like never give up. And that's like one of the main themes. So even in like complete just dire circumstances, the show tells you, hey man, we're not giving up, and neither should you. I think that's kind of cool. Sorry if I moved the camera and it looks weird. I had to put a battery in and now I moved it and I think I messed it up. So if it looks bad, my fault. I messed it up. Fucked it up.
You fucked it up! You fucked it up!
Yeah, they also explore a little bit. They go to Chicago. They also go to Boston, which I've also been. I lived there for a little bit. I also have to tell you my favorite character. It is the sassy secretary, Gretchen! No, it's not. She's super cool. She's got a very like can-do attitude. She's very fun. But she's not my favorite character, because my favorite character is, and always will be, Michael Phelps. No. It's Louis Litt. Louis Litt is the best character, not only in this show, but maybe in all of TV. Louis Litt is the best. He's so funny. He's like, he's everything you could ever want, and then some. The whole thing I told you about the dead secretary, that was his secretary. I didn't want to like blow it, but I tried to avoid talking about him. Louis is the best, like far and away. I know people that make fun of him because obviously he's like, you know, the Joker.
Nigel went after Mikado.
What the hell is Mikado?
Not what, who. She's a cat.
He went after your cat.
He went after his cat.
He tortured his cat?
He deprived her of my letters.
And like, you know, he doesn't pull apparently. I mean, that's what I saw in the YouTube shorts. I was like, oh, this guy's just the jackass of The Office. And he is, but he's got so many layers to his character.
Your Honor, I'd just like to state for the record that the witness is speaking into an imaginary microphone. You're speaking to an imaginary microphone.
That's what I mean.
You know what?
You know, he cares about people, but he acts with his emotions. He acts very Shakespearean. It's a Shakespeareans! Louis is so cool for so many reasons. The secretary thing, that was all him. I'm not saying he wrote it, but he was the main driver of that. All he would do was complain about his secretary, and then she died, and then he yelled about her as she was dead. She was a battle axe!
She was a battle axe! She was my battle axe.
Like, he does it all, man. He steals someone's cat and then gives it back. He cucks another man. He bowls! He gradually goes from this defensive lunatic to this heartfelt character that has like love with and for everyone in the show. It's very clear that he cares about the people around him, and even if he doesn't act that way all the time, he definitely has an underlying just genuine care for the people in his life. And it's very realistic. I feel like we all know that person that acts with their emotions, you know, gets mad and says things they don't mean, but in the end, they care about you more than you can imagine. And I think that's really cool. Like, I'm not trying to get all like genuine for a second. But seriously, he's a really cool character. And it's stuff like that where it kind of sets this show apart. Maybe I'm reaching. Maybe I'm saying all these crazy things. It's just supposed to be some soap opera about lawyers. And I love soap operas. I love drama. You saw the Maury video. If you didn't, watch the Maury video.
The clip summarizes exactly what this show is all about. You know, just hitting a... As two white women cry.
I love drama, but I also love just genuine, heartfelt characters and just a fun story with layers to it. And Louis exhibits all of these the best. He goes through the best arc, he has the best jokes, he definitely seems the most fulfilled out of anyone. Oh yeah, and one of Louis's main motivations is to become name partner. And it sucks how it happened. He kind of strong-armed people into giving him his ultimate like sign of success. It gets all convoluted, but the point is this whole idea of being a name partner at a New York City law firm, which I'm sure is a big deal in real life, but in this show it's everything. It is the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl MVP all at once in this show. And it sucks because at the end of it, it's just stupid. Another spoiler, but to be honest, at this point, it doesn't even matter. This part is such a waste. They put 5 names on the wall at one time, and then they make a joke about it. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I love a good joke, but when the ultimate sign of success is just tossed around, where literally it is not only teased in the show, but in the intro, maybe not teased, but like trying to make it look cool. It looks ridiculous. That many name changes. I feel like in real life, that would be not a good sign of good business. What do I know about good business? All I did was invest in GameStop on the front lines. Yeah, that's right. I watched my buddies lie face down in the muck in GameStop and AMC and Dogecoin, including myself. And I'm not on the other side, so don't tell me about business. I know business! I'm definitely not insecure about my lack thereof knowledge of finances and stocks. Oh, another great thing about this show. They can't decide whether or not they want to swear in it. I'm not even kidding. In season 7, they just start throwing out F-bombs. Not that F-bomb, the F-U bomb. And it's just like so unsettling because they don't swear for like the whole majority of the beginning of the show. Then they start and it's so disorienting. And then after that, They just censor it. So they still say it, but they censor it. I don't know what's going on. Woo, baby. Back to Lewis. Baby back. Baby back. Ribs.
Baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back.
Look, if you're the Dwight from The Office is my favorite character, I'm not like most girls type, Louis Litt is the character for you. He's exactly like Dwight, except lawyer. And maybe funnier? People are gonna get upset. You gotta watch the show. If you haven't seen the show, you can't tell me I'm wrong. Deal? So look, I could talk more about the plot, but other than the thing I said that I said to skip, I don't want to spoil too much else because I really do think you should watch this show. I think it's really cool and epic. So thanks for stopping by, and I will see you in the courtroom. Ow. So thanks for stopping by, and I will see you in the courtroom. Oh my god, oh my god. That didn't seem like an intentional fall. It wasn't, so let's do an intentional fall.